This is your final divine alert. This isn't a message you casually scroll past. The one who whispered your name. Their identity is out. The curse they set in motion is now active. You have 20 seconds before spiritual consequences begin to close in. Right now, as you watch this, your aura is being scanned. Heaven knows if you ignore this again. Your silence, your delay, is being recorded in divine light. Archangel Michael is not asking anymore. He is commanding. Because someone has tested his patience far enough by messing with your soul. And you've stayed too silent. A force has broken through your spiritual boundary. Someone, somewhere, has already done the harm. And if you're hearing this, it means Archangel Michael has chosen to reveal it only to you. You are the last to know, but the first to be protected. If you act now, open your spirit. Listen deeply. Because what you're about to hear will change everything. Right now, the name you carry, the very identity that defines your soul, was spoken in a place it never should have been. Archangel Michael has seen it. And he is no longer silent. Someone whispered your name in a realm of shadows. Not in love. Not in prayer. But in bitterness, resentment, envy. Your name was offered as a sacrifice in a dark ritual, a twisted wish made under breath. Asking for harm, misfortune, or delay in your life. And until now, you had no idea. You felt the fog. The sudden exhaustion. The things slipping out of your hands. Delays that never made sense. People turning cold without cause. These weren't accidents. They were seeds of spiritual interference. Planted by someone who couldn't bear your light rising. Archangel Michael says, they feared your breakthrough. They couldn't handle the grace you carried. So they tried to interrupt it. This was not a mistake. Your name was chosen. Their intention was sharp, clear, and sent with rage. And though heaven did not allow the full curse to manifest, traces of it still linger around you. The energy? It's heavy. It's sticky. It's why your peace has felt interrupted lately. Right now, Michael is hovering over you, sword drawn, not just as your protector, but as your witness. He saw who did it. And more importantly, he saw why. And now, he speaks. This is your only chance. If you ignore this divine alert, the chain reaction they triggered will hit you without mercy. But don't panic. You were never meant to face this alone. You were chosen for protection. But only if you open your heart and receive it now, before the next cycle begins. Take a deep breath. Feel your chest rise. That's not just air. It's grace entering again. But you must keep listening. The message is not over. Archangel Michael leans close now, not to frighten you, but to reveal something only your soul can truly confirm. He says, you already know who did this. You felt their energy change. Their smile turned hollow. Their words became sweeter. But their spirit colder. This person may not wear black robes or chant in secret. No. The modern curse doesn't always come from spells. It comes from thoughts laced with venom. From hearts too broken to celebrate your rising. It's the one who watched your light and wished it would dim. The one who said, I'm happy for you, but deep down, wasn't. The one who claps with one hand, but curses you with the other. And Michael says, it was someone close enough to know your dreams. A friend. A relative. An ex. Even someone who once said they loved you. They saw your potential. They tasted your energy. They tried to walk beside you. But when your elevation outgrew their comfort, their soul betrayed itself. They didn't need to light candles or draw sigils. All they had to do was speak your name in hate. And that was enough. Because intention is energy. And when charged by obsession, jealousy, or pain, it moves. It cuts. It sticks. Archangel Michael saw it as a ripple, a disturbance in your aura. Like ash falling in your sacred space. And here's what hurts most. It may not be the person you're thinking of first. Sometimes it's the quiet one. The one who withdraws when you're winning. The one who goes silent when you're joyful. The one who disappears after clapping once. Michael says, they masked their attack in politeness. But their energy betrayed them. You might have forgiven them. You might have even prayed for them. But forgiveness does not erase the imprint of a spiritual strike. You must remove what was sent. Or it will continue to poison the soil of your future. The person who sent it may pretend they've moved on, but their shadow still lingers in your field. That's why Michael came forward now. The timing is sacred. You're entering a new spiritual gate soon. And what's attached to you must be cleared. Or it will follow you into blessings not meant to be shared with parasites. You deserve a clean space. But do not retaliate. Your power is not in revenge, it's in awakening. And this message is your awakening. Michael urges you. You don't need to know their name. You already know their pattern. Focus not on punishing them, but on freeing yourself. Now listen. The energy is about to shift. Because Michael is not only here to expose, he is here to remove, to reverse, to reclaim your power. You've been given time. More than you know. Grace was extended to you. You were watched. Protected. Held back from disaster more than once. But now, I, Archangel Michael, say this with divine finality, this is your last warning. Not because we wish harm, but because your spiritual clock has struck its final chime before change. There is no room for indecision anymore. Right now, there are forces being unleashed on Earth. They were once chained, now they've been permitted to roam, only to test the hearts of those marked by the light. And you. Yes, you. Your name is marked. The heavens have whispered your name again and again. But if you keep walking as if you didn't hear it, if you keep pretending you didn't feel this message reach your chest like thunder in disguise, then understand, your silence will invite what cannot be undone. Pause for a moment. Listen, not with your ears, but with your soul. Do you feel that pressure in your chest? That heat rising up your spine? That's not fear. That's activation. It means you're waking up. It means something is being stirred within you that no demon can touch, but only if you protect it now. Every moment you hesitate, the shadows grow bolder. And the spiritual contracts written in your name are nearing expiration. If you don't act, those who cursed you will inherit what they sent. But if you remain inactive, you'll carry the residue of their intentions into your own path. This is not superstition. This is spiritual law. Archangel Michael doesn't beg. But today, I plead. For your sake, and the sake of the generations that will follow you. Because what's coming is not just for you. It will ripple through your bloodline. You were supposed to be the shift. The one who ends the cycle. The one who brings fire and light into your ancestral story. But if you close your eyes now, your children's children will cry out for the deliverance you refuse to claim. You still have one moment left. Just one. I'm holding it open for you now. Don't let it pass. In the spiritual realm, time doesn't move like ours. It folds. It speaks. And recently, the fire altar in the realm of angels burned with an unusual flame, blue in its base, golden at its edges. That fire was not ordinary. It was prophecy fire. Fire that reveals truths, exposes lies, and names those who are next to be awakened. And through that flame, your name appeared. Not whispered this time, etched, burning across the smoke like a living symbol. One that glowed brighter than all others. We gathered in silence as the name floated upward in the smoke. Angels paused. Warriors bowed. Even the lesser shadows that had been hiding in the folds of forgotten energies trembled, for your name did not rise alone, it rose surrounded by divine assignment. It was a message: this one has been chosen. This one is needed now. Their delay must end. I need you to understand, this isn't metaphor. In the spiritual plane, what rises in fire is written in heaven. And once something is burned into the smoke, it can only be erased through disobedience. The fire showed a path, 2 doors stood before you. One, radiant but steep. The other, easy but pitch black at its core. The flame moved between them, testing. But your name leaned toward the light. That means your soul is leaning toward your higher calling, even if your flesh is unaware. But you must choose consciously now. No one else can make the final turn for you. The smoke eventually cleared, but the message was sealed. The vision was passed to me. And now I pass it to you. This fire, this moment, this script, it is your personal calling. Your soul wrote this long before you were born. You said yes in the realm of spirit. You promised to awaken. And now I've come to remind you of your own promise. Will you honor what you wrote in eternity? Or will you forget, distracted by illusions, letting that divine fire burn without you? There is still time. But not much. The moment your name was seen in fire, Archangel Michael did not just stop at recognition, he opened the scroll of origins. A celestial record that only high-ranking angels can access. It holds the soul contracts of those who have been summoned by heaven itself to fulfill tasks tied to Earth's awakening. And yes, your name was there. Not only was it there, it had notations beside it. Spiritual contracts, some from this lifetime, others spanning back generations. Even lifetimes you have long forgotten. You see, your soul has lived before. In times of war, in eras of silence, in sacred lands and forgotten empires, you were there. Each time, you carried a fragment of divine truth. But not all of those lifetimes ended in peace. Some ended in betrayal. Some ended before your mission was complete. And so, your name carried both blessing and burden. Archangel Michael saw that some energies, resentful, dark, unresolved, were trying to attach themselves to you now in this lifetime. These are not random attacks. These are ancient curses and contracts that were never fully broken. Some came through bloodline vows. Others through words spoken in desperation: "I'll never love again, I give up on truth, take my soul if it ends the pain," and such words carry spiritual weight, especially when uttered in past lives under oath or trauma. Now, as you awaken again, those energies have reawakened too. But here's what the angelic realm wants you to know. You were never meant to carry them forward. You were meant to recognize them. To face them. And then, with heavenly authority, to break them. That's why Michael stepped in. That's why you're hearing this message. This isn't just content, it's intervention. Michael was shown a shadow moving near your name in the book. It wasn't allowed to touch it, but it lingered. It's an energy that seeks to delay, distract, and divide you from your path. It works through discouragement, through fatigue, through false connections that drain your light. You've likely already felt this. Strange heaviness, spiritual confusion, repeated negative cycles, sudden doubt right after divine clarity. That's not coincidence. That's interference. But interference can only win when the one being called ignores the call. Now, listen closely. Archangel Michael says, their name has passed through fire. Their contract is still alive. But the moment to act is closing. If they reject fear and step into identity, the chains will break. If not, the shadow will delay them another cycle. You do not want to repeat this cycle. You've already waited lifetimes for this alignment. This is why you're here. This is why your name was whispered. This is why the message found you. You are standing at the divine intersection of remembrance and decision. And now, heaven watches. There's a final checkpoint in your life right now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. This very moment. Archangel Michael isn't just whispering this, he's commanding it. This is your last chance to realign with your soul's divine timeline. The heavens have stretched every thread of mercy for you. But threads, no matter how divine, can fray when you keep pulling away. Your name has reached the gates of judgment, not condemnation, but awakening. This isn't punishment. This is divine interruption. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, why are you even watching this right now? Why did this message find you today? Because your spiritual energy has triggered a beacon. Your guides, your angels, Archangel Michael himself, saw the patterns forming around you: betrayal, exhaustion, confusion, curses. The web was tightening. But before it locked, heaven stepped in. And now, Michael stands with his sword, not raised in anger, but glowing with choice. You have one final spiritual checkpoint. Ignore it, and what's already been set in motion will continue. And no shield will block it, not until you surrender, listen, and act. But if you open, truly open, Archangel Michael will assign a personal guardian beside you for the next 7 spiritual days. These aren't just symbolic days. They are energetic gates. During this time, divine signs will rapidly increase: sudden number sequences, dreams from ancestors, emotional outbursts from people around you revealing their true selves, and even breakdowns that are secretly breakthroughs in disguise. This is your soul's final checkpoint before a karmic timeline closes forever. You either ascend or repeat. You either rise or break. Michael is placing the key in front of you. But he won't open the door for you. Will you take it? Because once this checkpoint passes, it never returns. Your destiny depends on what you do in the next few days. And your soul already knows the truth. Archangel Michael is waiting. You are now standing in the presence of something ancient, holy, and unwavering: Archangel Michael's final shield of light. This is not a symbol. This is not a metaphor. This is a living, breathing divine frequency that descends only when all other spiritual protections have failed, or have been ignored for too long. He is not offering this shield to everyone. Only to those who are truly listening right now. Only to those who feel the heat rising in their chest, the chills crawling down their back, the sudden knowing in their gut that this isn't just a video, it's a moment of decision. Michael's shield doesn't just block dark forces. It repels curses. It nullifies demonic contracts. It breaks ancestral bindings. It severs etheric cords draining your light. And most of all, it deflects what the enemy has already sent your way. The consequences that were set in motion, they can still be intercepted. But only if you choose to receive the shield now. Delaying will let the storm hit. Ignoring it will invite the chaos closer. This shield carries the frequency of divine protection and divine accountability. It does not protect those who continue to walk into darkness. It only protects those ready to step out of spiritual blindness and reclaim their sacred path. Michael's sword is for war. But his shield is for chosen warriors. If you feel even the smallest stirring in your spirit right now, that's your confirmation. You've been chosen to carry this shield. But it will only lock onto your soul if you make the inner vow: I accept the protection of divine light, I walk away from what is draining me, and I choose the path of truth, even if it costs me everything. Say it with your spirit, not just your lips. Because heaven listens to hearts, not empty words. As soon as you make that inner vow, expect an energy shift in the next 24 hours. Watch for the signs: a sudden calm after days of chaos, a message from someone unexpected, or an urge to clean, release, or cry. These are all signs that the shield has landed. Michael has covered you. But now, you must cover your choices. Because from this point forward, your actions will either amplify the protection, or slowly dissolve it. You are being watched, by both sides. Choose boldly. Choose now. Can you feel it? That tension in the air? That sudden pressure building in your spirit, like something unseen is racing against time? That's not your imagination. That is heaven's clock, ticking louder, faster, and with greater urgency than ever before. There are certain divine timelines that, once crossed, cannot be undone. You're not in just any season right now. You are in a prophetic window, a sacred crossing point where two timelines are battling for your destiny, one from the divine and one from the pit. Archangel Michael has been dispatched to pause time for you momentarily, not literally, but spiritually, to offer you one last sacred detour. A chance to step off the path you're on before the gates behind you lock and the path ahead turns dark. You were warned before through dreams, repeated numbers, signs, people vanishing, things falling apart. But you may have ignored the signs. Heaven's messengers whispered, but the noise of the world drowned them out. This time, heaven isn't whispering. It's sounding the trumpet. Michael is here, not just as a protector, but as a heavenly timekeeper. He's pointing at the clock, and it's almost midnight in the spirit realm. Erase what that means for you. That situation you've been tolerating? It's going to explode if not corrected. That person you've refused to walk away from despite the signs? Their presence is delaying your breakthrough. That habit you keep returning to in secret? It's creating a spiritual opening that darkness is using to feed on your energy. Heaven doesn't warn repeatedly unless something dangerous is truly imminent. Right now, your spirit is being scanned. Michael is holding up the timeline of your soul, the path you were born to walk, against the one you're actually on. If the gap is too wide, divine intervention won't be gentle. It will feel like everything breaking down, but it's not destruction, it's course correction. Your peace being disturbed? Your relationships shaking? Your plans falling apart? They're not accidents. They're alarms. Spiritual sirens. The question is, will you respond? Many have ignored this moment in the past and never recovered. Some lost their light permanently. Others became spiritually numb, walking but not living, awake but disconnected from divine flow. Don't let that become your story. Michael has frozen the spiritual hourglass for you. But it won't stay frozen. Every hour that passes, the sand begins to fall again. And once it's emptied, the shift becomes permanent. This is your final boarding call into divine alignment. Not just for your safety, but for your destiny. If your heart is beating faster right now, that's the Holy Spirit confirming the urgency. This is not fear. This is mercy. You have just enough time to change direction. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. And now. Still your heart. Silence yourself. Because the time has come. Archangel Michael does not throw warnings into the void. When he says he knows who is behind your pain, your confusion, your repeated setbacks, he speaks with clarity not of this world. He does not always say the name out loud. But he shows you. Close your eyes for just a moment. The person who came to your mind first, the one whose energy you felt. That is no coincidence. Your spirit remembers what your conscious mind has buried. The chills on your spine right now are your soul's truth trying to reach you. This person may not be in your life anymore. Or they may still linger quietly in the background, on social media, in your memories, in dreams that leave you disturbed upon waking. Michael says, they mask their intent with smiles. But their spirit never loved your light. They competed silently with your peace. Jealousy curdled their prayers for you. And now, their bitterness has turned into a curse launched in secret. But there is no secret that can live in the light of the divine. Michael sees it all. You were never paranoid. Your body felt the shift. Your luck didn't turn for no reason. Your anxiety wasn't random. Every delay, every missed opportunity, every strange illness, every relationship that suddenly went cold, he saw it being set in motion from their hands. You might be tempted now to reach out to this person. To confront them. Don't. Michael says this is not the time to battle in the physical. You will not defeat this by arguing or exposing them. This battle must be handled by angels. But you must acknowledge the truth, you have been spiritually targeted. And now you are spiritually protected. Say these words out loud if you can. Archangel Michael, I release the energy of the one who cursed me. I return their intent to the void. And I accept your sword of justice to sever every invisible tie binding me to them. You may feel a warmth or a deep breath releasing from your chest. That is their hold breaking. You are no longer theirs to watch, torment, or block. Michael says, you are not the victim. You are the soul they feared because of the mission you carry. But from this moment forward, fear is not your shield, he is. Now, let us move deeper into the mystery. Because this wasn't just about one person. There's something older. Something ancient. You need to know. Archangel Michael speaks now not just of curses, but of a war older than memory, a war into which your soul was initiated long before this lifetime. He says, you were not born into your family by accident. You did not suffer those betrayals, those spiritual attacks, those lonely nights, by chance. You signed a contract, before you ever took your first breath. This contract was not written in ink. It was carved in light. A covenant between your soul and the heavens. And the moment you chose to descend into this world of shadows and illusions, the darkness took notice. Michael continues, the forces that oppose the divine saw your signature. They knew who you were the moment your soul lit up the ether. You weren't just another life, you were a warrior disguised as a child. Many people live lifetimes in ignorance. But not you. That's why your life has been filled with spiritual turbulence. That's why strange resistance has clung to you since you were young. That's why you never fully fit into the mold others wanted you to wear. You were sent here not only to survive, but to awaken others. And that makes you dangerous to the forces that thrive in silence, confusion, and despair. Michael reveals that the curse sent to you was not random, it was an ancient spirit trying to delay your activation. An enemy that's appeared in different forms across your lifetimes. Sometimes a person. sometimes a situation, sometimes a voice inside your own mind. But erase the truth he now speaks over your soul. The curse may have echoed from the past, but your authority is eternal. You are older than the lie they tried to bind you with. Let that settle in your spirit. The battles you face are not just earthly, they are echoes from realms where angels and ancient beings still fight for the souls of humanity. You are here, in this body, not to be a passive witness, but a living weapon of light. Archangel Michael says, the moment you awaken fully, the dark forces begin to tremble. And that awakening has begun. It started when you noticed the patterns. When your intuition sharpened. When you heard this message. This is not entertainment. This is a divine trigger embedded in your timeline to shake your soul awake. Now, as we go deeper, the Archangel wants to show you the signs that your soul is activating, and the sacred powers being restored to you, one by one. Archangel Michael gently leans forward now, not in a posture of authority, but in divine compassion. His sword is lowered. His voice, steady but urgent. He says, you have already begun to awaken. The signs are not only around you, they are within you. Let me reveal them to you, one by one, as confirmation that heaven knows your name. Sudden emotional sensitivity. You've recently felt things more deeply, emotions that don't even feel like they're yours. Sometimes, you cry without knowing why. This is not weakness. Michael says your spirit is tuning into frequencies most people ignore. The veil is thinning for you. Strange dreams and angelic symbols. Wings. Eyes. Blue light. Repeating numbers like 1111 or 444. Dreams of flying, of falling, of fighting shadows with light. These aren't just dreams, they're spiritual downloads from the angelic realm. Michael is often the one transmitting them. Increasing disconnection from worldly noise. You find yourself feeling irritated by superficial conversations, toxic environments, or heavy media. Michael says, that's your soul pulling away from false timelines. You are starting to vibrate in alignment with your true path. A calling that won't leave you alone. Even if you don't know what you're being called to, you feel it. A pressure in your chest. A restlessness in your bones. Michael calls this the sacred ache. It's your soul remembering a mission you swore to complete in this life. Electrical sensitivity and sudden energetic shifts. Technology glitches around you. Lights flicker. Devices freeze. You may even feel tingles, sudden temperature changes, or hear faint tones in your ears. These are angelic frequency modulations preparing your vessel for more divine communication. People either gravitate toward you, or fear you. Some feel inexplicably drawn to you. Others reject you without reason. Michael says it's because your energy is disrupting hidden spirits in others, both good and bad. Your light is exposing what some would rather keep hidden. You're hearing this right now and feel it in your soul. That's no coincidence. This message is coded with divine resonance. If your body is tingling, your heart racing, or your eyes tearing up, it's not emotion. It's recognition. Archangel Michael is not just speaking to you. He's activating you. He says, these signs are not random. They are sacred confirmations. You are no longer asleep. You are being recalled to the front line. And now, with the signs made clear, Archangel Michael wants to equip you. Because the awakening isn't the end, it's the beginning. But still, despite all these signs, despite all the celestial whispers that reached you in dreams, in numbers, in shadows moving at the edge of your awareness, you delayed. And now, Archangel Michael is no longer asking. He is commanding. This is not merely a warning. It's a final plea. And it carries the thunder of divine justice behind it. You've been protected until now. But protection is not indefinite when warnings are dismissed. Understand this: a soul that continually ignores divine signals slowly walks away from the umbrella of protection offered by heaven. It's not that the angels abandon you. It's that your free will takes you outside their reach. Michael has fought for you, pleaded for your safety, cut spiritual cords from dark forces that wanted to keep you chained in past pain. But if you continue denying this call, the enemy will strike, not just at your luck or your finances, but directly at your spiritual core. And when they do, you will feel a soul-level fatigue. Like something is missing. Like something sacred has been pulled out from your chest. That is the point of no return. But you are not there yet. You are here now. Listening. Hearing. Feeling this message as it sinks deeper into your being. The angelic realm is still extending its hand. Michael's flaming sword still burns with divine protection, but only for those who honor the call. There is no more room for passive belief. You must act. You must take the warning seriously now. Right now. Before the clock strikes spiritually midnight. Before the curse completes its final loop around your name. Before the negative energy that's circling your life becomes a storm too large to stop. Don't test the patience of heaven again. Because while love is infinite, intervention is not. Even Archangel Michael's mercy has a boundary when your silence echoes louder than your faith. Take this moment seriously. Look around your life. See the signs. The sudden chills. The flashing numbers. The repeated dreams. They're not coincidences. They are coded messages. Spiritual alerts. Last-minute signals before a permanent shift. Will you listen now? Will you rise? Or will you force the divine hand to step away and leave you to the consequences already in motion? The choice is yours. But not for long. Have you ever asked yourself why the same battles keep returning into your life, again and again, just wearing different faces? Different jobs. Different relationships. Different places. But the pain? The betrayal? The heartbreak? The financial losses? They feel eerily familiar. As if you've been here before. As if life is circling in a loop you can't seem to escape. That's not just bad luck. That is spiritual repetition, a karmic trap that Archangel Michael has been trying to pull you out of. And now, he wants you to understand why this keeps happening. You see, when your soul enters this world, it comes with assignments, with divine promises etched into its core. But when you allow fear, ego, and external noise to overpower that inner knowing, you start creating a life out of alignment with your higher path. Every time you ignore your intuition. Every time you let toxic people stay too long. Every time you dim your light to make others comfortable. You unknowingly reinforce a pattern. A spiritual loop. Michael says, these loops act like cages that get tighter over time, until you are left suffocating in a life that was never meant for you. That's why similar pain returns, again and again, more intensely each time. Because the lesson wasn't learned the first time. The curse you feel around your name, it isn't always cast by another. Sometimes it's self-inflicted, through repeated denial of your divine power. Michael is showing you this mirror now, not to shame you, but to empower you. Because when you become aware of the loop, you can break it. And when you break it, heaven rushes in. Blessings that were blocked begin to flow again. Relationships heal. Finances rise. Peace becomes your default setting, not anxiety. But you cannot break the loop without intention. Without action. without calling on Archangel Michael with full surrender and saying, "I'm ready to learn the lesson. I'm ready to break the chain." Until you do, the loop will continue. The faces will change. The losses will continue. And eventually, your spirit will become numb. Michael warns, this numbness is the most dangerous place of all. Because once you go numb spiritually, you stop looking for signs. You stop feeling divine presence. You forget who you are. And the enemy thrives in that silence. But Michael isn't silent now. He is roaring. He is lifting the veil. He is saying, enough is enough. The loop ends when you rise. Will you rise? The enemy has studied you longer than you've known yourself. It knows the pattern of your heartbeats when you're afraid. It knows the exact tone of silence you fall into before you break down crying alone. It knows what triggers you, what tempts you, what exhausts you. But most dangerously, it knows your potential. The enemy sees what you refuse to accept, that you are chosen, marked, dangerous to the darkness. Every time you were rejected, every betrayal, every delay, it wasn't random. It was targeted. Because something inside you terrifies the enemy. Your voice can break generational curses. Your presence can shift atmospheres. Your very awakening would cause a spiritual domino effect in your bloodline. And so, the attacks had to begin early. Through trauma. Through abandonment. Through the curse placed on your name. The enemy hopes that if it keeps you distracted by survival, you'll never rise into leadership. If it keeps you doubting your worth, you'll never speak your truth. If it keeps you tied to karmic relationships, you'll never find your divine partner. But here's what the enemy didn't count on. Archangel Michael. Your protector. Your divine enforcer. He's been guarding your soul from complete ruin. You may have fallen, yes. But you didn't shatter. You may have been lied to, used, and silenced, but your spirit still burns. Michael says, the enemy knows your name. But it fears your awakening even more. Right now, in this very moment, you're being called to reclaim what has always been yours. Peace. Clarity. Power. Divine confidence. Because once you awaken, you become unstoppable. Once you remember who you are, not who the world told you to be, you activate your true protection. The enemy will still whisper. But your soul will roar louder. You will no longer shrink. You will no longer doubt. You will no longer hand over your power to those who never earned your trust. Michael warns that the spiritual war is not coming. It is already here. But so is your armor. So is your sword. So is your angel. And they're waiting for your next move. Will you rise now? Or wait until you're broken again? Because the enemy isn't sleeping. But neither is heaven. Archangel Michael does not come to you with empty hands. He arrives armed. Not just to defend, but to equip. And now, he extends his sword to you, not a weapon of metal, but of truth. You are not being armed for battle simply because you're under attack. You're being armed because you're meant to lead the battle. This is a shift in your spiritual identity. You're not just the protected one anymore. You are now the warrior. Michael's sword represents divine authority. When it's placed in your spiritual hand, it activates something ancient in your soul, something your ancestors prayed you would carry forward. This sword is not for destruction. It's for cutting away the lies you've believed about yourself. It severs soul ties that are draining your life force. It breaks generational agreements with darkness that were made before you were even born. It slashes through illusions, false identities, and spiritual fog that have kept you walking in circles. But there's more. Michael's sword also illuminates. It reveals who is truly for you and who is secretly against you. It lights up the path ahead when others see only confusion. It ignites dormant gifts inside you, visions, spiritual discernment, and divine intuition. Heaven is no longer asking you to be passive. Michael is declaring, you are now being conscripted. You are no longer in the stands. You are in the arena. The dreams you've had of being pursued, of fighting unseen shadows, of running through spiritual dimensions, those weren't nightmares. They were prophetic training. Each dream, each vision, each flicker of spiritual knowing was heaven whispering. You're not like the others. You're a warrior. You might ask, but I don't feel strong enough. And Michael would answer, that's because strength is given at the moment of battle, not before it. Your armor is not built through comfort. It is forged in fire. And many of you have already survived fires that should have destroyed you. That was your preparation. Now comes the transformation. This sword is being placed in your hand today for a reason, because a confrontation is coming. It may be spiritual. It may manifest through a person, a decision, or a massive shift in your life. But when it arrives, you will not be defenseless. You will not be confused. You will know what to cut away. Michael says, this is your moment of release. Pick up your sword. Because from this moment on, the enemy will no longer chase you. In the realm beyond your eyes, where battles rage and secrets are unveiled, a shift has occurred. The enemy that once stalked you in silence is now panicking. Why? Because you finally noticed the pattern. You finally discerned the voice that whispered sabotage behind every opportunity. You finally stopped blaming yourself and started recognizing the spiritual hand behind the chaos. And now, Archangel Michael has sounded the horn. In the celestial realm, your name has triggered movement. You might not hear it with your ears, but your soul has felt the tremble. All around you, angelic backup is being deployed. Not one or two guardians, but legions. Because this is no longer just about you. It's about the calling on your bloodline. The generational promise that darkness tried to intercept, but failed. Michael is now reactivating the plan heaven once wrote over your life before you were even born. The demons that tried to steal your peace are suddenly retreating. They're not just scared of you. They're terrified of what's coming with you. These angelic forces aren't ordinary beings. They are warriors assigned to chosen ones who are stepping into divine leadership roles on earth. Michael says, you are not being protected anymore just to survive. You're being protected because you are becoming a vessel of breakthrough for others. This is why the warfare intensified recently. The enemy always attacks when your breakthrough is close. But it never expected you to rise. It thought the trauma would silence you. It thought betrayal would keep you locked in self-doubt. It thought cycles of lack, addiction, confusion, and heartbreak would keep you wandering endlessly. But instead, those very trials made you dangerous. They forged the voice inside you that the divine realm now trusts. That's why Michael didn't send just a whisper of guidance, he sent legions of light. Even now, as you hear these words, there is an angel standing at the four corners of your life. At your front, one is shielding your future steps. Behind you, one is guarding against the traps you escaped from. To your right, one carries the scroll of your true identity. And to your left, one holds the oil of anointing for your next assignment. They are real. They are moving. And they are responding to your alignment. Because heaven only sends this kind of backup when someone is no longer just surviving, but stepping into divine authority. That's you now. That's why the signs have been increasing. That's why your dreams feel more intense. That's why strangers feel drawn to you, some confused, some in awe, others intimidated. You're radiating something spiritual. Michael says, it is your divine atmosphere they feel. And the enemy? It's frantic. Running low on time. It knows you're no longer who you used to be. And that soon, you'll no longer be within its reach. Because where Michael is leading you next, darkness cannot enter. And then, the veil shattered. It happened the moment you heard this message, and not a second before. You think you've been awake, but Archangel Michael says, you were only dreaming until now. This is the second your true soul opened its eyes. And the moment it did, the war that has been circling your destiny paused. And stared back. That icy feeling on your skin? That wasn't fear. That was your soul remembering. You've lived this pattern before, in lifetimes long erased from your conscious memory. You've been betrayed before. Hunted before. Marked before. And in every life, Archangel Michael tried to reach you, to wake you, to shake you free. But this time, he says, it will not end the same. Because you opened this. You listened. You're not just hearing a message. You're activating a prophecy. One buried deep inside you. One written in heavenly ink, across the tablets of time. You're no longer just someone. You are the reason this veil had to break today. The enemy thought they still had time. But they were wrong. Archangel Michael saw to that. Now, listen carefully. Archangel Michael says this with piercing certainty. There was a deliberate attempt to erase you from the scrolls of divine remembrance. Not just your name, but your gifts, your purpose, your divine agreement with the heavenly realms. They wanted you confused, quiet, obedient, small. They buried your light beneath layers of false guilt, shame, fear, trauma passed down from generations who themselves were under attack. But what they didn't expect is that your light cannot be killed. Only delayed. And now, the chains they cast over your destiny are melting, because heaven authorized the intervention of a warrior angel. Archangel Michael is the protector of God's chosen. And make no mistake, you are chosen. Not by accident, not by luck. Chosen by bloodline. By soul signature. By divine design. And when you began to feel lost, heavy, exhausted for no reason, that was the moment your higher self began to resist the spiritual erasure. You've been waking up for some time. But this message? This is the final command to remember. Michael says, they tried to erase you because they feared what would happen if you remembered who you are. And they were right to fear it. Because you're remembering now. Archangel Michael reveals something that may send chills through your spine. Your energy has not been ignored. It has been watched. Tracked. Measured. Manipulated. Not by the divine, but by those who operate in the shadows of the spiritual realm, entities who feed on fear, confusion, distraction. For years, they've monitored your aura's frequencies. They've watched how close you come to remembering. They've noticed when your light intensifies, when your soul flares with divine anger or sacred longing. These were the moments they'd send distractions, sudden emotional triggers, unexpected betrayal, unexplained delays, financial breakdowns, even chronic exhaustion. Michael says, they have been trying to collapse your frequency before it stabilizes into power. But now, his sword of truth cuts through the cords they've placed. The surveillance grids around you are breaking. And you may have already sensed this. Your dreams are becoming vivid, your intuition louder, your tolerance for fake people lower. This isn't just awakening. It's energetic disengagement from the traps they built for you. Your energy was under surveillance because it scared them. And now, your light is no longer hidden. Michael declares, "No weapon formed against your divine frequency shall prosper, not anymore." He commands you to remain alert, because the closer you move to divine memory, the more they will try to pull you back into forgetfulness. Long before you ever took your first breath, your soul stood in the divine chambers of eternity. Surrounded by celestial witnesses, you made a vow. A vow to return to earth at this exact moment in human history, not as an observer, but as a bringer of light. Archangel Michael shows a scroll. On it is your name, not your human name, but your divine signature etched in light. It declared, "This soul shall carry truth into a world drowning in illusion." And because of this, the dark realms took notice. You were marked before birth, not as prey, but as a threat. This is why your childhood may have felt heavy. Why you often felt different. Why you experienced betrayal early, rejection, heartbreak, abandonment. These were not punishments. These were attempts to break the warrior inside you before you remembered who you truly are. Michael says, you have been targeted not because you are weak, but because you are vital to the awakening. You carry codes in your spirit that awaken others just by existing. Your eyes transmit ancient knowledge. Your voice holds the frequencies of restoration. You are not random. You were chosen. And now, the realm of light is reactivating your divine memory. This explains why so much feels unfamiliar, yet deeply known. Why some places stir your spirit. Why certain people instantly feel either like home or danger. Your soul recognizes them, not from this life, but from that eternal moment when you were marked for this mission. You were not sent here to suffer. You were sent here to shift timelines. Michael's command is clear: do not forget your origin. The time to activate is now. You may wonder why, despite relentless attacks, emotionally, spiritually, even physically, you're still standing. Why forces tried to destroy you. Yet something always pulled you back from the edge. Archangel Michael whispers the truth. You are not just protected, you are prioritized in heaven's defense. Because you are more than a person. You are a portal. A living access point through which divine energies anchor into earth. Your presence alone shifts frequency. Your silence carries sound codes. Your stillness opens doorways between dimensions. This is why spiritual warfare surrounds you. Why relationships collapse the moment your vibration rises. Why you often feel watched. Because through you, light breaches darkness. Your aura holds celestial technology. Angelic frequencies use your field like a transmitter. You're not always aware of it, but when you pray, sing, cry, or simply exist in alignment, you open a gateway through which higher intelligence enters Earth. That's why you've been protected from things others didn't survive. It wasn't luck. It was Michael's sword clearing your path. It was angels stationed at your door when you slept. It was divine shields cloaking you when you entered danger zones unaware. Every time darkness tried to end you, be it through betrayal, illness, financial destruction, or emotional despair, the divine rewrote the script. Because portals cannot be closed until the assignment is fulfilled. And yours is not yet complete. Michael reminds you, you carry living light. As long as you breathe, heaven has access to earth. So stop questioning why you were spared. Stop minimizing your survival. You were never just a person. You were, and still are, a walking miracle, and now. If these words stirred something deep in your soul. If you felt Archangel Michael's presence guiding you as you listened. Then know this isn't just a message. It's your confirmation. Heaven is real. The war is real. And you are a chosen warrior of light. You were not sent here to blend in. You were sent to rise. And every spiritual attack you faced has been proof of your power. So don't walk away from this video like it's just another story. Because your name was mentioned in heaven. Your soul was called forward. If you're ready to stand in that truth, if you're ready to say yes to the divine mission over your life, then subscribe to this channel right now. Because messages like this don't come by accident. They are assignments. And if this message reached you, then Archangel Michael wants your attention. He wants your loyalty. And he's sending more. Make sure you don't miss them. And if you feel called, activate your gratitude by tapping the super thanks button below. It's not about the money. It's about sealing the energy of this divine message with intention and honor. Until next time, stay protected. Stay awakened. Stay chosen. Because Archangel Michael walks with you.